utilization of Fulton.
Well, I think at this point, that's in the hands of Oswego. I don't think there's anything more,
Yeah,
unless
well,
I'm
yeah,
mistaken.
we've been working on that. I have,
Yeah.
so I'd
Yeah.
like to, I've been working with Brian, and he knows this, so it's something.
Right, yeah,
He's been busy with budget.
right. So I don't think there's anything to share the group. I mean, you're always free, and you should.
Yeah,
I know the
anytime.
president welcomes
Yeah, anytime.
visits, calls, and sit-downs. So in terms of one-on-ones, I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, from my perspective, we're still making inroads on that. We're still having conversations, but ultimately, I think if it ever goes anywhere, that door needs to come back to us. They need and say, let's hear more about that. Now, the chargeback rate at $3,400 per FTE is going to be slightly higher than they anticipated it to be, and we'll see if that impacts any of their thoughts.
Okay, so any final questions? Ms. Pinckney?
Just one. A few years back, Pete Liddell had put a process together for the athletic fields, and it was a very nice presentation. Is that still kind of like sitting and getting some cobwebs, but still in discussion?
So the multi-facility concept of softball and soccer, lacrosse / maybe baseball but what's different is when that was originally unveiled and discussed, that had a site in mind. That site's no longer available, right, because of the work that's going on at Holland Stadium. So the way I treat it is the need and the type of multi-purpose space is still live, but the rest of it has to start from the beginning because every cost associated with the project is about where will it be. And we have been surveying our entire footprint. We've been trying to look anywhere else. We've had suggestions from some of you and others about what about if you acquired this, acquired that, and again, all these are great suggestions. But if it's going to cost us $4 million to do, and we get half of it from the state, and we don't know if we can raise $2 million or get $2 million to do it, right? And then we have to add anything on top of that just to acquire something. Are we just adding to the lift, or are we making it closer to be realized? And so, you know, the multipurpose is there. The exact location, all that, we don't know, and that's what I'm working on. So to your timing, if I may, about the long term, about the space, I feel like we'll be able to give a more comprehensive view in mid to late August, because we're just finalizing some internal investigations of costing and lab modernization and so forth. We expect to have that really in place by mid to late August, so if that's a timeline that you can expect to hear back from me.
Great, good, okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Lattimore?
This weekend, 4,000 kids are coming in to play lacrosse, so athletics is a big thing. I mean, it's going to be at the high school, but your predecessor had indicated with some private people to maybe go out and buy the Pine Ridge property on the Harry Tubman home, which was residential and closed at the time. That would have been a perfect site for ball fields. In fact, one of the doctors from Skinny Atlas got a grant
Yep.
and didn't follow through on it, but
Yep.
for athletics.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then if people do think of other questions, just contact the president directly or let me know.
Yeah.
It's up to you, however you want
And
to
I'll be
get
at Ways and
those.
Means next week, so if there's anything else you'd like me to add, prepare a detail to provide, I'll be happy to do so.
Great, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your time.
Yeah, exactly. It's very impressive. So, if we, see you, thanks for coming. If we may now do the Fred's resolution,
Sure.
the amending the home rule one.
So back in February, the county passed a resolution to request home rule legislation to permit a dialogue with the hospital to purchase a nursing home. At that time, the language in the bill was to permit the hospital to buy the property at reasonable consideration and upon terms as they may find to be reasonable and in the best interest of the community. Well, the Assembly majority did not like that language, so it's been a struggle for the past couple of weeks to come up with some alternate language, and the alternate language is now out, and they've changed, I'll just call it reasonable consideration, they've changed that to adequate consideration, not fair market value, but adequate consideration. The bills were just printed about 2 days ago. They will be voted on next week. Remember, the session ends next week, so we have a very small, short window to act. So this resolution has been brought to you very quickly to see if you, as a body, will agree to that change. And again, the change would be to permit the negotiations for the transfer on adequate consideration.
Second.
Okay, moved in second. This is a 2/3 vote, so we'll have to have a roll call. Oh, wait, is there any, I'm sorry, is there questions, discussion?
What is adequate I mean,
That's the beauty, it's it's undefined.
but I mean, is there a number, is anything?
No, the
No.
state legislature will not put a number. That's up to this body to work through. And assuming this passes here, and assuming it passes in Albany, and the governor passes it, or signs the bill, then we have to work through what that looks like.
But I'm just, I mean, $100 probably ain't gonna, I mean, they don't give you any kind of,
No?
Well, that's
don't.
not adequate, no.
Yeah. And it's not fair market value either, so it's somewhere in there. The Assembly got excited about the language that says, "in the best interest in the community." Their concern was it would be $1, and of course, this is a good deal for the hospital and the community. That was their concern. They wanted to tie it more to some type of value, and the term they came up with that the majority was happy with is adequate value. So I'm not sure what it is.
Well, it's good for us, to be
It is.
clear. This is this was, I know this was your concern before, and this addresses it, so.
has
it
there
leaves
been
it-
any discussion with them on what they would?
Absolutely not, not until this is all done. There's nothing to talk about, quite frankly, but, Joe?
So part of this whole value, though, there could be an argument made for cash and then services that are provided to the community, the benefits of those, and that could be considered part of,
That's not beyond the realm of possibility, yes.
so they've just kind of left it wide open for it to be interpreted. However, does this mean they have the final say on it?
No, once this passes, it's up to the county to determine what that adequate consideration is.
That's why it's good for us.
And it'll be in a resolution, assuming we get to that stage, it will all be spelled out in detail on the resolution.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
Tucker Whitman,
Yes.
Andy Dennison,
Yeah.
Ben Vitale,
Yes.
Grant Kyle,
Yes.
Paul Pinkney,
Yes.
Aileen McNabb Coleman,
Yes.
Joe DeForest,
Yes.
Terry Baxter,
Aye.
Joe Bennett,
Yes.
Frank Reginelli.
Yes.
Patrick Mahon is excused, Timothy Lattimore,
Yes.
Michael Didio,
Yes.
Ryan Foley,
Yes.
Keith Batman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, it passes. Okay. So it's not on the agenda, but the other thing we've been talking about is the sign on to the amicus brief. And I've taken the pulse of the legislature, and I don't believe that the body is interested in moving forward with that. So I think we just let it go. However, if someone wants to move that we sign on, this would be the time to do it. Otherwise, we'll just put it aside.
Should I make a motion to table it?
Second.
Okay, there's none to table
nothing to
unless
table.
someone moves.
Yeah, but
Keep,
Yeah, but-
keep moving.
Forget about it, put it in the closet.
Okay, yeah, that's good. In that case, unless people want to spend more time with me,
Motion to adjourn.
See you later.
second.
3 or 4 motions, half a dozen seconds, we're adjourned.
What the hell is I?
Hey.
Is that Irish or?